Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where I did not successfully manage to let this run until it was done and figure out what was going on. I figured out what was going on though. The problem is that we have 53 million GameObject.findObject of type calls. We need to not do this. Let's go ahead and just pass in the parcel manager in the constructor. So parcel manager. Actually, we'll just call that the P manager, I guess. That'll work. We're not going to be calling it that for anything other than the constructor, so there we go. And then when we create this building, the question then becomes, why did that not give us an error? I feel like that should have given us an error where we spawn the buildings. Maybe Unity will get it if Visual Studio didn't? Yeah, there it is. Excellent. So we're going to need to have a reference to the parcel manager, and I think having that from the hex manager is going to be handy. So let's go ahead and in the other managers, we'll go ahead and do the public parcel manager. And also, I think that we maybe don't have a parcel manager right now. We'll just pass in the parcel manager. Okay, it doesn't exist. Did I capitalize it? Oh, it's in hex manager, of course. Manager.parcelManager. Okay, there we go. So now we pass that in like that, and the manager needs a reference to it. And again, I don't think the parcel manager technically exists currently, which is another reason why that was going so slowly. I'm just going to go ahead and create an empty because I feel like that scripts object is getting pretty cluttered. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Parcel manager. And in fact, I mean, we could separate these out. I think it's fine to just leave it as is. And then we're just going to go ahead and in the core, we're going to put the parcel manager onto the parcel manager object so that we have one. There we go. And then the hex manager needs a reference to that. There we go. And that should be way faster to start up. Like, basically infinitely faster to start up. Still a little on the slow side, but yeah, that was fine. And then we'll just go ahead and see how long this takes to generate. I mean, that shouldn't have changed, realistically. It should still be around that 52-second mark, which is granted slower than I would like. We'll figure out some way to fix that later on. A lot of the generation, like the biome generations, could maybe be offloaded and then loaded on demand when you click on one, if it hasn't already loaded from a different core. I don't know. We can work on multi-threading later on. That's going to be a whole different can of worms. So let's go ahead and come on down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and run this for right now at the slowest speed. That seems to be fine, actually. And you notice it didn't generate any packages. But let's go ahead and purchase this plant, demolish it. And technically, since we own this hex, it'll now start generating things that are 25 hexes away. Or less. Theoretically. But let's just go ahead and construct ourselves a postal office there. And yeah, I'm not trying to construct it, I'm trying to select it. There we go. So let's go ahead and run that. Oh, okay, look at that. We've got a couple of hitches. Null reference exception. 8 null reference exceptions. Path failed, no connection found. Object reference not sent to an instance of an object. Right. So why is this path failing? That's the question then. This should not be failing. All of these should be connected in some way to each other. I mean, we could just use square magnitude. There's no doubt that that would be faster. We'd have to adjust our overall size because if you take a quick look at this, it's currently expecting a size of 25, which if we come out here, we can see that this is at an x position of 0, or rather a position of 0, 2, 0. And in fact, all of these probably are because they're the world hexes inside of the base hexes, which is not what I want. But let's take a quick look here. So this guy is at 2467.548. Whereas this guy, well, he's 2 away. So essentially, it would be within 12 world hexes right now. If we want it to be essentially within the same world hex, we would adjust this building, or rather in the building script, which is currently here. We would adjust this from 25 down to 2. And we would expect this to be afloat again, if we were to do it that way. And I think that will be a faster way and probably slightly more reliable way to do it, realistically speaking. So, with that being the case, let's go ahead and, in the building, come on down here. Where was I wanting to go? I was wanting to go, actually, to this implementation. Here we go, in the Hex Manager. Rather than doing this pathfind, let's just simply return nearest dist. And we'll have to make that into a float again. There we go. Okay. So with that being the case, that should make that much, much faster, as well as kind of more reliable, but less accurate, and more of an estimate. So essentially what that's going to be doing is saying within about a world hex or so, but if you're off-center in the world hex, it can go over into the next world hex to some degree, but there's going to be some difference between the world hexes because there's a gap. So it'll prioritize things within the same world hex, but it can go over, and it's a little awkward, but it should be substantially faster, so I'm okay with that. Also, I feel like we should probably, at some point, address the memory usage here. Because currently, if I pull this on over, you can see we're using 8.5 gigs right now. That's maybe a little extreme. But let's come on in here and go ahead and run this. Excellent. We'll run it on the top speed. And you can see that that drops our FPS. A fair amount, in fact. Actually, no, the FPS basically stays where it is. The FPS is definitely something we'll want to address eventually, but this isn't really the time for that sort of optimization. So for right now, we'll just go ahead and buy this clearing, and that clearing should give us access to packages in this area. We'll go ahead and run this until we see a package pop. We don't see a package pop yet. I mean, the stuff in this area is not amazingly likely to actually have a package pop. Oh, we need to bulldoze the clearing. That's a little awkward, but I guess that makes sense. We'll go up to the max speed. You can see there's a sizable frame rate drop on every hour tick, and I expect there will be a very sizable frame rate drop on every day tick. Yeah. That wasn't too bad, though. But hey, it created a parcel. It created 2 parcels at 1114, 40, 39. So, where is that? Where are we? We are here. Okay, this is 1065, 1064, 1113, 1165, 1115. So it's within our world hex. Yep, within our world hex. In biome hex 40. Which is... not this one, this one's 3. Which one's 40? One of these is 40. I think this one is 40. Yeah, this one is 40. So it's in here. And then the other one is in 41, which is in here. So that's actually a ways away. Quite a ways away, in fact. And I'm feeling like we should maybe pare that down a little bit to like 0.2. If we did that, then theoretically, that would be roughly within the same biome hex-ish. Like, an adjacent biome hex. Also, maybe we shouldn't build our first post office in the middle of a forest. Not perhaps our best idea. Oh boy, that didn't go amazingly well. Now, it bears noting that a lot of the reason of the memory usage that we've got is because every time we run this, the memory usage in the editor goes up. The editor does not properly free all of the memory, and that would not be the case in an actual build of the game. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's actually go into a city this time, and maybe a commercial district in a city, and see if we can find a warehouse. Over here. That's a mall there. Storefront. Here's a warehouse. We could park right next to the warehouse, so let's go ahead and purchase this little storefront. And we can demolish it, and construct ourselves up a postal office, like so. And select our postal office, we can... Null reference exception. I feel like that was supposed to purchase a vehicle? Balance.vehicle range is a null reference exception. That's odd. So... manager.business.balance.get vehicle balance from type. Return delivery vehicle. Come on, let me scroll. There we go. Let's check this balance here. And yeah, right here. Balance.vehicle range. We set the manager, which is good because we need that. We already called the start. It's interesting. Anyway, that's not really what we're testing right now. We'll fix that possibly in a moment. But first, let's go ahead and run this a bit. Spawned a parcel at 770, 62, 17. Did it spawn any others? No, it did not. Okay, so where is 770, 62, 17? We have no indicator of where that might be. Which is, you know, a little obnoxious. It should be within the same world hex since we're smack dab in the center. So, 770, yep, 62. So which one of these is 62? Well, let's go up here and go to map hex 62. Right here. So it's still a little ways away. Not a hugely far distance, but a little ways. Now our vehicle range is what, 10? in our balance here. Where's our vehicle ranges? I think they were actually up top, weren't they? Yes. So our vehicle range is currently 10, which is in building hexes and isn't going to get very far, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just to get out of this hex. And we need to go up here. So it would be, you know, something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just to get into the correct hex to pick it up. So there's that. We may have to adjust these ranges, perhaps. Yeah, we probably do. I feel like it should be able to go up to here and back in one trip. Like 10 biome hexes. So like maybe 70? We'll call it like 75 for the range. As soon as this clears up there. There we go. No, not vehicle speed. Vehicle range would be about 75. And then for truck, we'll just double that to like 150. And then trains are 100. So we would need to multiply that by like 7.5 to be 750. And then ships would be like 7,500. And planes would be the same 7,500. Okay. There we go. That feels a little bit better. We'll see how that actually feels in-game. Might be too strong, who knows. Anyway, I need to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, subscribe for more, and next episode, we will be trying to figure out why this isn't working. See you all then.